Today, I want to share with you an app that I've been having great success with. I really love using it. It's so good. I have to share it with you and show you all about it. And I'm not even going to scratch the surface of what this thing can do. It's so amazing and incredible. It's just great. So I want to introduce to you Abacus. It's called Abacus AI. And you can think of Abacus as like a integration or like what is it called? There's a word for this, aggregator. So basically, you've seen how there's different platforms that will create AI images for you, but it's referencing a different services. So it's referencing, like, for example, this Firefly one right here. Let me pull it up. Adobe Firefly. They're doing it with Google, Gemini, Nano Banana, Flux, Imagen, Ideogram, Runway, and a couple other ones. So this is kind of like, and of course the Firefly itself. So this is kind of like an aggregator that's using all these different brands and all these different AI tools into one, and then charging you a monthly rate for it to do a service or something. That's kind of what this is in a roundabout way. And it's amazing and it's really powerful. And you can use all different types of learning models. So it'll automatically route to see which one is the best one based on your input. You can use Sonnet, GPT 5.2, Gemini, Nano Banana, Grok. Like, there's just a ton of them. And depending on what you're trying to do, as far as like the language model, and if you're trying to create images or videos or something like that, well, there's a bunch of those ones too that were not listed in the drop down there. The platform is absolutely awesome. And the way it works is basically you pay a monthly subscription for it and you get a bunch of credits. And as you're using it, it'll populate and take away from those credits based on how much input and text you're giving it. So for example, if it's a short answer, this one only used 4.3 credits, and then you can click on that, see how many credits you've used. As long as I've had it for about a year now, I've never used all the credits. They give you ample amount, but I also use different kind of AI apps and different AI tools. So I don't use this one too much for generating AI type videos and graphics and photos too much, because they use the other ones that are specifically designed for that. I think that's what eats up a lot of credits, because it's using render time and other servers and stuff like that. So now that you know a little bit more about it and how it works, I can kind of show you some of the great features about it, why you might want to use it for yourself. It's great to segment projects. So basically you can have a bunch of different things going on and store these projects into memory, and then reach out later once you're circling back around to get more information on that project. So basically it'll store things in the memory there, so you can come back to it and remember, say, oh, now they're working on this project here that was 2 months ago. I have an update. So the update, it'll store everything in the memory and basically say, well, let's working on this project. Here's another thing that I just learned and I want to add to this project, and now craft me a research letter or something like that based on this new information. And it'll do that for you. It's absolutely great. You can upload documents, you can reference websites. So for example, you want to add something to this project, you say, hey, I need you to add something to this project, make it look like something from this document here, and then click that button to upload your own file, which could be a Word document, a PDF, or like an ebook or something from somewhere you found online. Or you can click that and just hit search the URL, and then you can chat with this thing just as you would. I'm sure most people, if you're watching this video, you probably already familiar with how the chat system works and how to prompt and this type of thing, so I won't go too much into that detail. Another aspect that I have not actually used yet is the coding and the playground method and mode here, because this relates to websites. Now, there's a bunch of different tools that are just coming out that can help you create a website by cloning a website and generating a website with no code and exporting that out for you and having everything done. That's pretty similar to what this is. There's some good YouTube channels that do exactly this. However, that's beyond the scope of what this video is, and it's beyond my level of expertise and technical information to get into that. But I dabble with it a little bit. It does spit out some code, and I have some web developer friends that work with me that can confirm that this thing is great. They use it, saves them a lot of time. And just so you know that that's in there, if that's what you're looking for, it can do this too. And it uses different models like I mentioned before, Claude, Sonnet, and there's a couple other ones that for specifically exporting code and whatnot. It starts with a Q, or there's one that's like Quell or Quinn, or some of these other ones that kind of export the code that I'm not too familiar with, but I know that it does have that integrated. So if you're looking for that service, it's here. Additionally, generating PowerPoint scripts, doing the deep research, and if you click on more tools, you can see here's where you have more of these, I guess you could say, higher credit usage to do lip syncing, avatar, video generation, create a document for you, edit a paper, scrape URL information from a website, screenshot, video analysis. Actually, this one I haven't used yet, so I'm interested to see what this one can do. If it can do automatic captions or give you a summary of what that whole video is about, I'm interested to learn more about that. Text to speech, speech to text, and speech to speech. So this is kind of taking over where 11 Labs has their own service to kind of do this type of thing. This is built in. So basically you can give it audio file, maybe it'll transcript that into a document, or maybe you could take some audio from a video that you found online and convert that into a document, make a paper for you. Everything, the sky's the limit. There's endless possibilities here. This is why this program and the software is so powerful for the small amount that you pay for it every month. And speaking more about segmentation for quick answers and web searches and stuff like that, I really just use the chat section. So you can create a chat, and then like I mentioned before, you can come back to it anytime because it keeps everything in memory. But this might be for smaller projects or just quick answers or something like that. You can always go in here and delete the project and remove it, but it's just a great way to stay organized. And I think it's really handy because if you have an issue and then it gets resolved, maybe you want to delete this just to free up some clutter on your dashboard here, but it's so great, and it keeps track of the date and time and all these things type 2. So I think that's a really great feature. Speaking of privacy, now that it's keeping track of everything, where's all this stuff going? Well, the Abacus here has its own privacy page that you can take a look at to learn more about how this works. I, for one, am concerned about like OpenAI and where's all this information going.
I think AI will probably, like most likely, sort of lead to the end of the world. But in the meantime, there will be great companies created with serious machine learning.
Cloud storage, this type of thing. The fact that it's aggregated and kind of using their services through an intermediary, to me, is a good thing because it's not really, if you were to look at it as like all that security information and personal information on the actual platforms like Google and otherwise, you're kind of using this as a pass-through entity. So there's information here on the website if this is something that you're concerned about, but it does mention something about how they track cookies or how they don't track cookies and where your information goes and this type of thing. As it's a proprietary third-party program, it's not keeping track of this information and whatnot. For me, that's a big deal, and maybe for you too. Now in this section here, I made a screen recording that I'll jump to showing how it looks on the mobile device. I recently downloaded it for mobile. I think it's great because you can turn the audio settings on, so now you can just speak to it instead of typing in. You could speak to it and then hit reply, and then it'll talk to you and share the messages here, and then showing some other features on the mobile device as well. It's available for Apple iPhone, Android, and it also has APK, I think, so you can download it to any mobile device even if it's not an Android specific software. A couple other things I haven't discovered just yet is the agents platform, the APIs connecting external services, and then a few other things like the GitHub, which is basically for developers and how to share open source coding and stuff like that. Again, it's very technical in nature, and I'm not really keen or too specific or have a lot of experience in that area. But if it's something that you're looking into, it does have these integrations, which is great. Now, this could be really important depending on what you're trying to do here. If you're familiar with what an AI agent is, it could replace most of your work staff and have things done for you, depending on how you set this up. So now there's pipelines and workflows and APIs and all kinds of things that, if you're not familiar with what that is, this is the type of thing that can allow systems to be automated. So depending on what your system is and what you're trying to do, you can build a chatbot and AI workflow to have all these things set up and integrated. Here's it starting off saying you can build a custom chatbot, and it's going to guide you through these steps. You create the project, and now you tell it what you want it to do, and then connecting all these things may be very technical in nature, but I just had to show that because if that's something you're looking for in a good AI tool, just know that it's there. And if you're familiar with what all this stuff is on the side here, then you'll be right at home with this program. Okay, so they have a new desktop feature, which allows you to use it straight from the desktop and not through a browser. The connectors, I think I've touched on this a little bit. You can add third-party apps to be able to integrate AI to create a workflow or AI agent to do things for you. For example, maybe book something on a calendar, send out emails, send direct messages to your teams. All this type of stuff is possible. Maybe even post on X automatically, stuff like that. So you can see there's a lot of different services already connected that you can streamline, automate a workflow. Another thing I love about this program is it has built-in user guide here. So it says prompting tips and tricks. If you're not getting the result that you seek, maybe go here to check out this user guide. And it's very in-depth and very specific. This is going to be your guide here. It's very in-depth and segmented based on what you're trying to use. Is it the chat LLM? Is it the desktop model? Is it the enterprise platform, software developer kit, APIs, or whatever? And as you would expect, it's got a good search function. So if we're trying to prompt for images or something like that, and then obviously we just type in the word images, we can find out what we're looking for. This is really handy because it'll kind of jump to exactly what you're looking for. And it's good to know that there's some tech support here and some documentation. Okay, great. Now I've shown you everything about Abacus that I like. Feel free to use it to your advantage for everything that you're doing. You can save a lot of time and money and valuable resources just by using these tools. It's way better than OpenAI or ChatGPT by itself, or the Pro ChatGPT, which I believe is like a couple $100. You'd be a fool not to use this. It's absolutely amazing and powerful. And I have an invite code right here, so I'll paste it in the description or the comments wherever you're seeing this video. Feel free to use it if you're interested in this particular software. I love it, and that's why I make this video. It's so useful, it's so helpful, and I hope it helps you too. And if you like content like this, feel free to subscribe to the channel or leave a comment, and I will respond to the comments. So it's clear to see AI is the future, and it's just getting started. It's gaining momentum and traction. So this website is bound to have a lot of updates and new technologies. So jump on it before anybody else does. Use it to leverage it in your favor. It's very powerful. Take advantage of the situation here. Blow your competitors out the water. And I'll see you in the next video.